Fresh homes, bold colors, inspired design. Welcome to Home Hues, a bold, characterful home in Yarraville, designed for a local doctor and her family. At its heart, this residence is all about atmosphere and flow, blending playful zones with calm retreats, always tied together by light, texture, and connection to nature. The family chose this long block for one very special reason. It had the potential to hold a lap pool. For an avid swimmer, this wasn't just a luxury. It was a daily ritual and a striking visual centerpiece, woven seamlessly into the architecture. Every room here embraces the outdoors. Large windows frame views of gardens, courtyards, and balconies, so no matter where you are, there's always a connection to fresh air and greenery. The exterior respects the streetscape, yet carries its own personality. White brick and painted battens for texture, timber lining for warmth, and a pop of blue at the entry door. Step inside and color comes alive. Moody, dark tones in the lounge give way to a bright and lofty library, while playful pinks weave through the spiral staircase, fixtures, and joinery. The design is a dialogue between inside and out. Materials like spotted gum cladding, terrazzo, and crazy paving appear both indoors and outdoors, creating a continuous language. White brick stretches from the pool to the dining area, blurring the line between house and garden. Curves soften edges, flow into joinery, staircases, and even the stone island bench, giving the home a sculptural quality. Life here is organized yet flexible. Central circulation anchors the home, with tidy, shared living areas and untidy, concealable spaces tucked away. Each family member has their own private retreat, yet the design draws them together in thoughtful ways. The kids' play area connects directly to a balcony, which links to the shaded courtyard below via that striking pink spiral staircase. Meanwhile, the TV lounge is positioned at the front of the house, balancing family energy across zones. At the center of it all, the pool. More than just a feature, it's engineered into the structure with incredible precision. The house slab cantilevers above the pool shell, finished with curved terrazzo and mosaic tiles for a flawless sculptural edge. What began as an extension to an old cottage soon transformed into an entirely new build, one that solved sunlight, boundary, and thermal challenges while creating a home that truly reflected its inhabitants. By centralizing the upper floor and introducing setbacks, even the neighbors gained better access to light. The Maree house isn't just a residence. It's a joyful, warm, and quirky family sanctuary, a place where design serves both function and feeling, where every curve, color, and material choice celebrates the art of living beautifully. On the quiet outskirts of Baruch, a weekend retreat rises gently from the land, not imposed upon it, but growing with it. This home was designed to embrace what was already here, a thriving canopy of mango, chiku, and jamun trees. Instead of clearing the site, the architecture curves gracefully around them, weaving house and landscape into a seamless dialogue. Compact by intention, the home holds just one bedroom, but its heart is expansive. The living, dining, and kitchen unfold as a single open volume, reflecting the client's love for hosting, gathering, and sharing meals that flow effortlessly from indoors to out. From the dining area, a raised garden court extends outward, framed with a built-in seating nook. Here, friends gather in larger groups, or one can retreat in solitude, cradled by stone and sky. Its form is defined by a sweeping Catalan tile vault, rising at the northern edge before settling into robust basalt rubble walls. The raw, irregular stone anchors the building to the earth, while the vault lends lightness, rhythm, and flow. Beneath it all, a polished lime concrete floor ties every space together in one continuous surface. Though modest in styles, the retreat resists confinement. Its curves soften boundaries, its openness invites movement, and its trees are not background but central to the experience of living here. This is not a house that shuts the world away. Instead, it invites you to slow down within it, to share laughter in the garden court, to find stillness in the shade of a tree, and to let nature and architecture breathe as one. In the heart of Ho Chi Minh City's Gia Dinh ward, once the historic center of Gia Dinh province, sits a home with a bold new vision, the Gia Dinh House. Set on a distinctive chamfered plot, this project was designed not just as a residence, but as a compact co-living model that redefines urban living. It's a family home, a series of rental apartments, and a flexible hub for shared offices, or even a cafe, all under one roof. The design blurs the boundary between house and street. On the ground and mezzanine levels, open plans and minimal partitions invite the alley inside, with steel mesh gates and doors maintaining transparency and flow. At its core, a dramatic sculptural elevator shaft seems to float within a central void, doubling as both structure and statement. This void becomes the social heart of the house, a flexible communal zone where residents gather, interact, and share space. Walls radiating from the elevator create triangular niches that serve multiple functions: planted corners, loggias, vertical voids, and private utilities. At the rear, a vertical garden shades the house from the west sun, while louvered panels and staircases enable natural cross-ventilation. Each floor lobby acts as a semi-public extension of the apartments, open spaces where residents can read, welcome guests, or enjoy a pocket garden atmosphere. The Gia Dinh House is more than architecture. It's a framework for living and sharing. By harmonizing a complex site geometry with diverse program needs, it creates a vibrant co-living community where functionality, flexibility, and aesthetics come together. A place where home, work, and community merge into one seamless experience. On the outskirts of Valencia lies House Jacaranda, a home where strength and lightness live in perfect balance. The design embraces the site's ideal geometry and topography, conceived as a massive stone container that shelters a luminous and fluid interior. From the outside, the volumes appear fortress-like, with elongated stone forms and sweeping overhangs that stretch across the villa, creating a striking dialogue of mass and air. The composition unfolds as sliding stone boxes, shifting horizontally and vertically, reminiscent of sculpted topography. At the heart of the home, a central courtyard opens the plan, stitching together interior spaces and framing views of the garden. This courtyard, along with the landscaping, serves as both backdrop and breathing space, blurring boundaries between nature and architecture. Structurally, the house is grounded by monumental stone masonry walls, while lighter horizontal planes of white concrete and lacquered steel counterbalance them. Inside, tones of warm wood and clean brightness dominate, accented with dark details that add depth and sophistication. Entry is marked by a dramatic overhang leading into the sculptural staircase and elevator core, a vertical anchor visible from every part of the house. The daytime spaces flow consecutively, always visually connected, anchored by an indoor pool that extends the rhythm of daily life. Bedrooms occupy the first floor, while a quiet study crowns the home at its highest point. Outside, a vast pool mirrors the garden in its surface, amplifying space and refreshing the atmosphere with a serene mirror effect. House Jacaranda is not just a residence. It is a sculpted landscape of stone and light, a modern fortress that is at once protective, open, and profoundly connected to its setting. La Maison de la Baie de l'Ours is not a house that imposes itself on the land. It's a home that reveals what was already there. Architect Maxime Frappier envisioned a structure that rises in harmony with its surroundings, where a vast timber coffered roof floats above living spaces like both gesture and refuge. Supported by monumental stone walls set back from the corners, the roof creates breathtaking cantilevers, dissolving boundaries between inside and out, between shelter and landscape. Here, architecture balances monumentality with intimacy. Acoustic timber coffers, discreet lighting, and shifting skylights orchestrate a rhythm of sound, light, and shadow. A quiet, enveloping atmosphere that feels protective yet open. The stone walls stretch outward, becoming low partitions that root the house into the terrain, as though the building itself has grown from the land. At its core, the home is designed for connection. The kitchen, sunken living room, and dining space open wide to the forest and the lake, anchored by a central fireplace, a warm hearth visible from every gathering space. An outdoor hearth mirrors the one inside, reinforcing the continuity of interior and exterior life. Even the screened terrace, protected yet open, becomes an outdoor living room where family and friends can gather in constant dialogue with nature. Two wings extend from this central volume, one for parents, one for children, linked by passages that feel like thresholds between worlds. The parental suite faces the lake, with spaces for rest, reflection, and retreat, while the children's wing offers a playful balance of bedrooms, terraces, and a generous playroom that connects back to nature. Above, a guest suite and workspace ensure privacy without breaking the flow of daily life. Everywhere, water, wood, and stone guide the experience. A sunken terrace carved into the earth for reflection, a bridge connecting terraces, outdoor spaces that blur into forest and sky. La Maison de la Baie de l'Os is more than shelter. It is an architecture of connection between people, between land and water, between the monumental and the intimate. It doesn't conquer the site. It listens to it, revealing light, topography, and forest as timeless companions to daily life. In a quiet suburban village where modern life gently intertwines with rural calm, Phong House is the story of balance between tradition and modernity, between family and community, between shelter and landscape. Designed for a young family, the home embraces minimalist geometry, yet carries the warmth of rustic materials, exposed brick, timber, raw concrete, and reinterpreted roof tiles. Together, they echo the memory of Vietnamese tradition while shaping a distinctly contemporary identity. The architecture comes alive through its clever rotation. The second floor pivots toward the southeast, harnessing cool breezes and soft light while protecting the home from heat. Below, the ground floor garden corridor follows this shift, creating a composition where balance is not just seen, but felt. Inside, the living, dining, and kitchen unfold as one continuous open space. With sliding glass walls, the garden and wading pool flow seamlessly into family life, where children can play safely, reflections of sky ripple across water, and nature is never out of reach. The second-floor bedrooms open toward the courtyard, veiled with vertical wooden louvers that filter sunlight into patterns of shadow and calm. Daylight shifts and animates the interiors, while at night, soft ambient lighting turns the house into a glowing lantern in the village landscape. For the environment, the generous garden and shallow pool act as natural cooling systems, easing reliance on air conditioning. For the family, open-plan living strengthens bonds, encouraging connection over isolation. For the community, the pitched roof and natural palette pay homage to cultural memory, a respectful bridge between past and present. Phong House is more than a dwelling. It is an architectural dialogue, sustainable, rooted, and human-centered, showing how modern comfort can exist in harmony with tradition, and how home can be both sanctuary and story. Shaped by myth and memory, the Hobbit wake houses draw inspiration from the timeless image of Hobbit dwellings, half buried in the earth, crowned with living roofs, and appearing less as buildings than as gentle folds in the land. This earth-sheltered design not only restores the terrain visually, but also creates natural thermal stability, conserving energy while blending seamlessly into the environment. Their domed profiles evoke a sense of refuge, while sweeping panes of glass open each cabin toward water and landscape. Yet, the deeper story lies in the revival of nearly forgotten rural techniques. The walls, instead of relying on synthetic insulation, are packed with straw bales and layered with clay and straw plaster, finished in lime wash, a system once common in Moldova's villages. Together, these simple materials create a self-regulating microclimate, absorbing and releasing moisture as needed while providing natural insulation. The cabin's timber frames were handcrafted by local specialists, reducing the carbon footprint compared to steel or concrete. On top, soil roofs are stabilized with an innovative mesh system, allowing grasses to take root until the cabins fully merge with the natural hillside. Inside, craft takes center stage. Local workshops produce the timber furniture, kitchens, and beds, while ceramic artist Eugenia Berlichenko designed bespoke lighting and details. No two cabins are the same. Each one carries its own variations, echoing the improvisational quality of vernacular craft. From the outside, the Hobbit wake houses nearly vanish into the earth. From within, they feel protective, warm, and deeply connected to the rhythms of nature. For LH47, this project is more than architecture. It is a cultural statement, proving that heritage craft, ecological thinking, and small-scale living can come together in a model that is both humble and visionary. It is often said that architecture never begins with a blank slate. Something always precedes it. Memory, context, a fragment of history, or even a faint emotion that refuses to be erased. To build within an existing environment is not to overwrite, but to inscribe another chapter onto the page of history, embracing what already exists while unlocking new potential within it. This task becomes far more delicate when the client seeks what seems contradictory yet deeply human, the best of both worlds. To hold on to the beauty of weathered granite walls, whitewashed stone, and traditional tidal roofs, while also introducing light, comfort, and modern ease. To create not just a house, but a singular home, one marked by both permanence and personal belonging. It was here that the greatest challenge emerged, to keep the soul of the place intact while shaping spaces that felt truly new. Doubt inevitably lingered until the final solution appeared, until the old and new no longer fought, but conversed. The project ultimately preserved the enduring elements, the solidity of granite, the rhythm of sloping tiled roofs, the measured repetition of window frames. But alongside this, spaces were rescaled, reimagined, and opened toward private courtyards, connected to nature, yet carefully sheltered from the outside world. Within, curated objects and lived details complete a timeless domestic landscape, one that feels neither frozen in the past nor suspended in the present, but fluid across time. The true challenge was not simply aesthetic or technical, but temporal. to honor the past, respond to the present, and anticipate the future. To arrive at something at once solid, beautiful, efficient, and emotionally resonant. What remains is a dialogue between materials and memory, form and feeling, continuity and change. What remains is harmony, and ultimately what remains is the quiet purpose of architecture itself, the happiness of those who will inhabit these walls.
Niche architects designed this house for a family of 5, set on the edge of the scenic Jurumirim Reservoir, about 4 hours from Sao Paulo. The 1,050 square meter residence is divided into 7 single-story blocks, loosely forming a cross-shaped floor plan. At its center, a nearly 50-meter linear corridor runs east to west, connecting the blocks while framing the home's spatial rhythm. On the south-facing side, the corridor is lined with green ceramic breeze blocks, clover-patterned elements that allow both light and ventilation to filter through, while also screening the house from the road. This playful and textured surface reinterprets a common Brazilian material, offering both function and expressive beauty. The design reflects the studio's philosophy of pairing constructive rationality with aesthetic clarity. Few finishes were used. Instead, materials are shown honestly. A glued laminated timber frame for strength and long spans, aluminum-framed glass walls for transparency, and polished concrete floors for durability and elegance. The modular grid of 3.5 by 7 meters supports an efficient assembly process, reducing construction time while maintaining precision. The house unfolds as a sequence of volumes attuned to both view and climate. The largest block contains an open-plan lounge, kitchen, and dining room that opens onto a deck overlooking the reservoir. To either side, 6 ensuite bedrooms are distributed across 3 blocks. Perforated PVC folding screens shade the interiors, filtering sunlight, keeping insects out, and ensuring natural ventilation. A swimming pool and sauna extend the living spaces outdoors, directly engaging the water and landscape. On the entrance side, the final blocks accommodate a TV and games room and the service areas. Together, the 7 volumes create a balanced ensemble, each one distinct yet unified by the structural rhythm of the glulam beams and the transparency of glass. As the architects explain, the house is a composition of parts, where each material is left to express its inherent character. Wood, concrete, ceramic, glass, and fabric coexist in dialogue, each performing a role, each visible in its logic. The result is an architecture both rational and expressive, a home deeply connected to place while crafted with clarity and restraint. Artist and designer Job Burns has completed the careful renovation of a 300-year-old farmhouse in southwest England, transforming it into a home that celebrates its rural identity and time-worn details. The commission came shortly after Burns graduated in spatial design from Chelsea School of Art in 2019. What began as a conversation about updating the decor soon evolved into a holistic restoration aimed at returning the farmhouse to its former dignity after decades of piecemeal renovations. For the client, the goal was clear: a home with personal character, a place of retreat, and a slower pace of life. Burns recalls, "It's not a smart home full of technology. All the switches are mechanical. It feels like stepping back in time." The first steps stripped away unnecessary additions, opening the ground floor to natural light and removing ceilings to reveal original beams. The original 6-bedroom plan was reduced to 4, with 1 bedroom reconfigured into a bathroom and walk-in wardrobe for the principal suite. An old coat cupboard was found to conceal a hidden cellar of 2 brick-arched rooms, which were carefully restored. Burns retained historic features like oak doors, floors, and beams, while introducing furnishings that deepen the house's eclectic character. "Anytime we built something new, the aim was to make it feel as old as possible," he explains. Collaborating with a local father and son's contractor team, skilled in traditional methods, the team restored details with authenticity, even matching the lime mortar to the original tones. The material palette combines lime-washed walls, polished plaster, and exposed stone with gently curved walls and rounded window reveals. Bold color choices inspired by the client's travels and Burns's own artistic practice balance the natural textures. "I've always been interested in material cultures, in how texture, color, and craft can resonate with place. This project traced those questions through built form, letting the past be present and giving it new shape." And that brings us to the end of today's story. If you enjoyed exploring these homes with us, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next journey into architecture and design. Until next time, thanks for watching.